All right, I'm back. And I quickly wanted to talk about rebalancing one more time because I think, if people are complaining or wondering what rebalances look like in the past year, last 2 years, I was sent this spreadsheet. And this is just, and I appreciate whoever sent this to me. I forgot who it was. I mentioned it before, but they basically compiled this data tracking what classes got rebalanced, what month, et cetera, et cetera. And so the last one came in October, and 8 classes got rebalanced. So same as this past year, right? And before that, 20, 25 classes back in May, and March 22. And the year before that, it was quite a bit actually. 4 rebalances, January 10, 10 again, 34. So basically all the classes, and then 13. And keep in mind that between June and January is V skills anniversary, so that's not incorporated in this. Like Blaster's rework or fix from last patch wasn't included in this, so there are, just keep that in mind. But this is strictly rebalances per se, and so do what you want with this data, right? And the way I look at it is, I'm not sure what they're gonna do next, whether a new one is gonna come in Q1 again or in Q2, because based on the past couple years, they've had one in Q1 and Q2 kind of earlier on, and then one at the end of the year pretty consistently. And so I'm curious what kind of trend what direction they're gonna go this year. But the main thing that I believe is happening, and what um, I got to give Nexon a lot of credit, right? I got to give them a lot of kudos to them, because it feels like the game is more balanced than ever, right? And I know lower tier, it's easy for me to say because my class is at the top, but the lower tier classes like are getting rebalanced. I think one of the biggest issues in the past was that everyone was getting rebalanced, right? In 2022, 30 classes were getting rebalanced. So the bottom tier classes weren't, they were getting buffed, but in comparison to other classes, they weren't, right? Everyone was just getting a big bump, but they were still staying at the bottom tier. And last year, they started off doing that 20 classes, 22, 25, and that, the top tier classes weren't getting anything. Look at like Pathfinder, not Pathfinder, Sias, Dawnwarders, Nightwalkers, Mercedes, Dual Blades, Dark Knights, Shadowers, didn't really get anything, right? And again, obviously, end of last year, 8 classes. So they're going in the direction where only the classes that really need it, that are struggling, are getting rebalanced. And I think that's nice. That's what, like, if, as a paladin, I would have loved a rebalance, but I know we don't need it. Right? Other classes need it more. They need to catch up. And when I looked at the class, when I did my class rankings, it's actually very, very challenging to create a top 10, to do which was the worst classes, kind of deciding in the middle which classes were better than others. And I think that's a good thing, right? I talked to so many people about where they think classes are ranked, whether it's archers or pirates or mages, and which ones are the best and the worst. And I got conflicting answers across the board. And that's a good thing, right? That means that Nexon is kind of doing their job, right? That there's discussion, there's some sort of argument for a class being this good or this bad, or um, when the bottom asks for the bottom worst 5 classes, people are giving me different answers, and there's discussions and reasons and whys. And I think in 2024 right now, the game is as balanced as it's ever been. And I think it started for once they started to only rebalance those lower tier classes that really needed it, that they started to bring them up, raise the floor, and kind of keep the, just to raise the floor and allow them to catch up a bit. So there's obviously still discrepancies and things that make some classes better than others, but we'll get into it right after this.